Welcome back to the eSports Report. We're taking a look at Optic Nation today. Let's bring up the graphic and show you their pretty faces. This is the 4th seed entering our X Games event. They're not in COD League Season 2, so we don't see them very often, but we did just see them at Niagara where they finished 4th.
Yeah, stellar placement by them. As you said before, they outplaced their sister team, Optic Gaming. Now let's take a look at some of their stats from Niagara. So in Search and Destroy, which was their best game mode at this event, they went 7-3.
7-3.
Pretty good.
Out of 10 games, you're winning 70% of them.
Yeah. So in Domination, they then went 7-5, which is still pretty good. Over 50% of wins there. And Blitz, which was their worst game type, they went 4-3.
Now, still better, more wins than they have losses, and they did have kind of easier competition coming from that losers bracket. But Domination and Blitz still pretty close to that 50-50 margin. Mm-hmm. Do you still think that one of these game modes is better than the other for this team?
I definitely think their Domination is better than their Blitz, which is good because in a best-of-5 series, you're playing 2 Dominations, only 1 Blitz. So if there's any one game type you want to be your worst, it's Blitz.
So Blitz is going to be their worst game mode, and what makes them a better Dom team?
I just feel like they control the map better than some of the other teams. You know, you have Ricky who could pretty much lock down a lane by himself, and then you have Killa, Miracles, and Embo's just pushing out all the other lanes. It seems to work out pretty well for them.
Sounds good. Well, let's take a look at the group that Optic Nation is going to be playing in. Of course, at the X Games, we're going to come in with 8 teams. Those 8 teams are split up into 2 groups. Optic Nation lands in Group A after the seeding. So we have Evil Geniuses, formerly Complexity, basically the reigning Call of Duty God Squad. These guys have started a dynasty, winning everything starting after the tournament where Farico Impact won Call of Duty championships. But Optic Nation is not going to have to play EG in their first match. Instead, it's going to be against Team Caliber, the team we profiled yesterday. If they lose there, they'll most likely play strictly business in that lower bracket.
Yeah, I think these 2 teams match up pretty well against one another. You know, I feel like it's kind of like an even matchup, and it would have been funny if they actually matched up against Optic Gaming for their first match of the tournament, but fortunately, Optic Nation have too many pro points for that to happen.
That could still happen later in the tournament. If Optic Gaming goes through in the 1 spot and Optic Nation goes through in the 2 spot in the opposite groups, they'll match up and vice versa. So I know everyone's hoping to see an Optic on Optic battle. Maybe we will get it at the X Games. But yesterday on the show, you said that you think Team Caliber, although it's pretty much 50-50 between TK and Optic Nation, you said TK gets your nod. What's different between these 2 teams? Why do you think TK has the slight advantage?
I feel like they have more slaying power. With the addition of Apathy, I feel like Apathy brings a lot more slaying over to Team Caliber, and I think that's going to be the difference when they match up. I think TK, overall, they're going to have more kills. Their KDs are going to be higher. They're going to get more slaying done. And at the end of the day, they're going to win the game from that.
It's all about the slaying for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree. Well, Embos is my guy to step it up. I think we've seen it in the past. Can he do it again? Miracles, like you said, our player to watch. Will he be able to go big for this squad? Well, all this is coming up. Of course, this is June 6th through the 8th in Austin, Texas. You guys can watch the event live right here on MLG.TV. But if you want to get tickets, you can come attend the event in person. Ticketmaster.com/XGames. Tickets are still on sale. For just $89, you get the 3-day park entry. You can go watch all the skateboarding, BMX, racing activities you want, as well as coming into the MLG Gaming Shack. But for $100 more, you get that MLG Premium Upgrade in Revan. You get all kinds of goodies with this one.
What kind of goodies?
Well, you're going to get a loot crate. You know what that is?
I know what that is.
A loot crate is good for all of us gaming nerds out there. You get a little surprise box every week with all kinds of gear in that. Also, you get an exclusive MLG tee. We get Gunner Optics, 50% off discounts, as well as a big discount from your Gameswear, and a Turtle Beach headset for free. So lots of goodies, all for $100 more, and you're also going to get the opportunity to meet and greet the pros. Come hang out with them on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Greet the casters, and potentially on Friday, a chance to play on the main stage with Benson and Foy's casting your games.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, a lot of people would love that experience, so go ahead, check it out. X Games, it's coming up next week. Make sure you book your flight.
It's going to be good. Well, Revan from Optic Nation, we looked at that group. TK, you said, might get the nod in game number 1, but that would mean Optic Nation would face off against either Evil Geniuses or Strictly Business in that losers match. Who comes out on top if it's SB Optic Nation?
If it's strictly business versus Optic Nation, I think Optic Nation will take that. You know, strictly business, we've talked about them. They're the first team we covered. They're playing with the fill-in and Fizzerp. They haven't been performing too well in the league, so combination of all those things, I think Optic Nation will take that losers match.
And then if we had a rematch of TK and Optic Nation to decide who would go through for that 4-team single elimination bracket, who do you got here?
I think Optic Nation would be able to.
In the rematch?
Yeah, once they get everything clicking, once their teamwork is on points. And I think, you know, that first win of the event, if that does come from the losers match, I think that's going to help them a lot. And I think they would be able to adapt to how TK is playing and then beat them in the second game.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to gather any of the Optic Nation players to come on to today's show, but you can follow them on Twitter. Pretty easy to find. You got Miracles, Killa, Embos, and Ricky. This is the number 4 seed coming into the X Games Invitational presented by MLG. You can catch it all live next week and starting Friday at noon Central Time right here on MLG.tv. After the commercial break, we're talking Anaheim, some of the other events going on as well. We have some details of how the pro bracket is going to work at that Anaheim tournament. We're calling it the Call of Duty International Playoffs. Not just American teams. We got some from the EU and Australia as well. All the details coming up when we return.